Welcome to Automation Hunter, the podcast for entrepreneurs and businesses ready to scale smarter. In this series, Apps, Hacks, and Bounties, your host, Will Christensen, dives into game-changing tools and strategies alongside special guests, sharing insights to boost productivity and solve real business challenges. Ready to innovate? Let's dive in.
Thanks, everybody, for joining this episode of Automation Hunter. I have Bill Jacoby here. Bill, thank you so much for joining us. We're doing hacks and apps and or bounties. And so what we're looking for from you today, Bill, is a hack or an app that you have used that's kind of upskilled or given you the opportunity to automate and or your dream application that you're just like, man, I wish there was an app out there that did this. But before we get into that, I would love to ask you, what do you do, Bill?
Well, I've been in the product safety world for the last 14 years with a consulting company helping sellers, manufacturers generate compliance documentation for Amazon, major retailers, and selling globally. And along the way, helping customers, client after client, coming up that same problem, like where do we keep this data? How do we store these documents? People have it in all different places, and that set me down the road to build a tool, which originally my first alpha was 10 years ago, and building a tool to generate compliance documentation, like a compliance framework for selling globally. So I started 3 years ago to build Comply Pro Plus, which is a framework for Amazon sellers, manufacturers, anybody selling globally, that you can manage your retail sales channel compliance, show proof of compliance, general product safety regulations that are coming up in Europe, and CPSC e-filing, which is coming next year. And I'm part of the CPSC IT committee and looking for ways to automate data entry so the burden on the manufacturer or seller is not that great.
Wow, man, if you're in the toy industry from an Amazon perspective, that right there is your app, right? You've nailed the app there. From a more general perspective, I'm curious, and you mentioned right before we started recording an app that literally gives you access to tons of automation without a lot of those recurring costs that are often associated with that sort of thing. Can you tell me, what is this app, and why do you recommend it so highly to entrepreneurs and businessmen?
Well, along the way, I work with a lot of small sellers, small independent consultants to go out and having been involved with tech for a long time, AppSumo is probably for startup companies or anybody who want to optimize their business is probably the best app out there. It's an aggregator for up and coming software applications that you can buy into for lifetime memberships, and you can use those to organize or shore up certain areas of your business you may be weak in. They have apps, everything from automating e-file, outreach. They have content, video, SEO to blogs. They have automation for, I just saw one the other day, for creating automatic how-to videos using AI and using some tools with knowledge base, building your documentation in a way that facilitates building that documentation very easily. A lot of AI stuff that's coming on there, but you can join yearly, and I'm not an affiliate, but you can join yearly and get a discount on all those apps. But if you have a weak area in your company, like if you're looking to shore up as a small company, there's apps that do billing and do quoting that are tied into your Stripe account. And you don't have to use 3 tools. You can look at any, whether it's a CRM type application, project management, there's tools for almost everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. My only question here around this, have you ever adopted an app and then had it fail where like the app doesn't exist and so your lifetime membership isn't actually valuable?
No, not really. I probably bought about 20 of them for my consulting business over the last 10 years. And some of them just technology is always changing. So you may deprecate one app and switch over to a better version. If it helps your company grow and scale, that's been the case. But I think there's one of them about 3 years ago that they just didn't get enough users, and it was like a bonus type of app. It wasn't a critical,
Yeah.
You're going to test these.
I mean, you said 20 over the last 10 years. That's 1 in 20. If we're just, rough numbers there, that's a 5% chance. That's pretty low.
No.
So I would agree with you. I think that's a powerful tool. Thank you so much for sharing that hack. Next question, any dream tools that you're looking for, dream automations where you're like, man, I just wish there was something out there that could do X, Y, or Z?
Ideally, I'm in the product compliance space, and I know there's a lot of people working on this for AI, but with all the major retailers and people selling globally, all Amazon sellers ask for me, tell me what regulations my product needs. And you're starting to see some of that coming on board if you use any of the AI products. They can kind of give you a roundabout like item if it's a toy. But what they can't do is, because each product is made with different materials, we're at the early stages of that. But ideally, the consulting side of it is a tool that would put the type of product, the materials you're making, and then go out and get all those regulations for all the markets where you sell. Because there's not enough hours a day. No one can know. I know CPSC and regulations for protecting your brand, all the policies and procedures to protect your brand. But if you're an FDA product, that's a whole nother lifetime of knowledge. If you get into cosmetics and healthcare, new testing, you need to know what, patch testing to see if irritants and that kind of stuff. So that would be the ultimate in my space. People ask that all the time. Tell me what I need for my product. And
so some sort of AI that could look at documentation that you like, looking at specific documentation that wouldn't hallucinate and that would tell you like exactly what a product needs.
Well, the challenge is that regulations are always changing and updating. So you have all these different databases for the EU is changing their general product safety regulations. So what the laws that exist today after December 8th or December 13th are going to change, update. So you'd have to tap into state regulations. Like anybody does labeling for law labels for stuffed animals or bedding or anything. Certain states like Utah are putting in laws where you have to put a label of that on your Amazon product information, so you can see that requires that label. So as other states come into this, you'd have to have a way to update what's happening in real time to build upon that. And
that's kind of the app that you're building, right?
That's a lifetime app. That is a Herculean app to build that. What I've built is to take a customer's data, their compliance product data, aggregate it and dissect it so I can see by sales channel. If I sell at Walmart, if I sell Amazon, if I sell over in Europe, that I can build my data. So the authorized representative in Europe that now is going to be required in December, I don't have to do anything. I can give them access, and they have access to all that data. I can file certificates with the government. That's the new law that's coming into place without any extra effort.
So I love that. Okay, so Bill, an app that I want to introduce to you, it's definitely not exactly what you just described. I'm sure somebody somewhere is working on that craziness. But this app is kind of cool because it's basically a baby version of Gemini. It's called Notebook LM. Have you heard of Notebook LM yet?
I've seen the word. I've been researched it. Yes.
So Notebook LM is a Google product that's in beta right now. Basically, you can upload PDFs to Notebook LM, and then you can ask it questions, and it will only look at the source data you uploaded. So if you didn't upload something that has like information around what's there, it'll say, I don't know, which I don't know if you've seen this with AI. I've often asked it questions and it hallucinates. It dilutes.
It dilutes and gives you random stuff that picks
random crap. Correct. Yes. So this application doesn't do that because it actually gives you a link to the source of whatever it was. And so like you can upload a PDF and then it gives you a link to go to that part of the PDF where you can read the original source where it's inferring the meaning and combining all of the different pieces. So in this situation, someone would have to go get all of this, all the regulations, all the different pieces and put them in there to Notebook LM. But then searching it would become much easier because all of a sudden you have a spot where it's going to go up. So Perplexity is another one that I would recommend looking into. Perplexity does a really fantastic job of searching the internet and showing you sources based on some of that AI interaction. I like Perplexity for the research kind of tasks that I have out there because it is real-time information that it's gathering. It'll show you the sources. So similar to Notebook LM, but it's using the entire internet. So I've still seen it hallucinate. I have not seen Notebook LM hallucinate yet. And it's been cool because I've been more comfortable uploading more private data. And I don't mean like super private. You don't want to give anything to Google that's super private. But, conversations between me and a client that I have transcriptions for, I've uploaded that and then asked questions about different scenarios or things like that. It's been pretty powerful. So those are two apps that I'd toss out for you based on that bounty that you put out there.
That sounds great because thinking about it, that's having your personal knowledge base. You're building a knowledge base around your business that you can, the best tools I'm using now with knowledge bases and bots, if you're the expert, subject matter expert, if you build a great document you can build those links and pick up on those keywords.
Yeah.
And that enables you to save all those extra employee labor.
What's cool is I've been able to so for example, I have a coaching guy. I took every single phone call I've been in with him, every single phone call I had access to out of a system he had in there. And I basically made a digital version of my coach. So at any time, if I want to ask my coach a question, I don't have to message him and bug him. I can bug the digital version of him, which links to a conversation where he said something, and then I can go back and watch that part of the conversation. So it's like having an AI version of him that I can talk to, and it's been pretty on point. So anyway, lots of really cool things you can do there. And I'm excited that I got to share something with you.
No, that has huge applications in the past. I mean, helping companies previously that used to have CRM outreach with 4 to 5 people answering inbound tickets. And you can't transfer your knowledge to every one of those people because you're only as strong as that strongest person. Your model, using it in that capacity to build everything, now you can need 2 people instead of 5 because they can access that tool to find those questions. And you don't need as many people to do the work because you have the knowledge. And you're putting out, most importantly, you're putting out the message you want each time consistently.
Got it. Well, Bill, I appreciate your time today. That's it for our micro episode on Automation Hunter.
Thanks, Will.